to host, obviously, but talk about that first match with UCF, starting out with a Big 12 team.
Yeah, no, we're excited. I think they obviously have a fantastic roster this year, a really good combination of veteran leadership and some youthful talent, and I think a couple of transfers as well. So they have a loaded, deep roster. I think they can go several guys deep, all the way through the lineup, and they've beaten some really good teams. I mean, they went on the road and they beat Southern Cal and Oklahoma out in California, and they've won, I think, all of the in-state rivalry matches that they've had in Florida. And so if you're beating teams in those parts of the country, I mean, you have a top program, and so I think their top 10 ranking is very well deserved from their perspective. And we know a lot of their guys, which will make it fun, and I think we're playing well. So, really excited for this particular matchup. They're very gritty and competitive, and and I would like to think we are too.
Got some good momentum coming off the A&M win. Just how big is that coming into a tournament like this with that kind of momentum?
I think it's always important to feel like you belong in the event, and especially when you're a host and get that automatic entry. For us, to beat a team that qualified in and is rightfully a top 10 program in A&M really gave us a ton of confidence, and I think we really doubled down on making sure that we were committed to the things that we wanted to be that maybe didn't work out as well against TCU, and so it felt good to do that, and now we're just trying to push for more every time, just up the standard a little bit.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about what you did right in that A&M game? Like, what do you think your players did right, and how have you kind of reinstated that through practice throughout the week?
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time just trying to have great emotional control, being competitive and positive, but more than anything, having great presence out there, really showing everybody that we trust in ourselves and in each other. And we didn't do a great job of that against TCU, and so we spent a lot of time breaking it down. And because it is a team sport, but also each individual plays their part, I felt like we each had something different that we needed to address. Great effort from the guys going into A&M because we did have some setbacks and we held it together really well. I thought we played a pretty poor doubles point on a couple of courts, and that didn't bother us. We got going in singles when A&M inevitably punched back in the second sets and the start of third sets. In singles, we did a good job of keeping ourselves together, keeping our clarity, our composure, and competed really well to kind of earn the match on a few courts. So, and we just want to really focus on building on that and making sure if we can do that, we know we have the level to beat anybody.
You mentioned, what do y'all look for most out of a setting like this? Y'all are no stranger to this stage, but aside from winning, what are you looking for most out of these guys?
Yeah, I think a big focus for us since the start of the year is just making sure that every day we're trying to improve. No moment should be too big for us because we're focused on the day-to-day process of improving. And of course, this is an important tournament, and we want to do really well hosting. Playing for a national championship. I mean, that's our goal, to win the tournament, certainly. But, today is just as important as tomorrow, our preparation, how we go about it, how competitive we are in winning the day, and doing our jobs. That's something we've been talking about, with each guy is in the moment, whatever your role is, are you doing your job, yes or no? And so our goal is to just raise that standard a little bit every day and do a little bit better, throughout the weekend.
At this point, you feel pretty settled on the lineup, or still?
I don't feel settled about doubles, for sure, and I think nobody does. We haven't played with the right energy level, composure, intensity, aggressiveness that we actually have in us. And so I'm not saying anything that we don't already know. We need to do a better job there. And so we'll probably mix it up a bit, potentially throughout this weekend and see within the rules what we can pull off because we have to turn in our lineup ahead of time. And so we'll try a few different things. And then in singles, I think the six guys that have been playing regularly have done a great job. Maybe there's a little bit of movement around, but probably not too much for me.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you.